how much has been captured, or you think well captured, and anybody would take on this after Ayo has made her intervention. Has the NCDMB or the local content law captured in terms of if we need to travel along the lines of renewables whilst you make your intervention? Because we will get there eventually.
Yes, and I really feel, and thank you very much, and I'll just stand again on all existing protocol. I think it's really important that we align ourselves with what has happened. Paris Agreement has been signed. Climate Change Act has been promulgated, is in place. Just Energy Transition Plan is out. Unfortunately, the Just Energy Transition Plan does recognize gas as a transition fuel. Economics is always going to drive the conversation. And I hear about self-preservation, but we've been so good, unfortunately, at self-sabotage. And self-preservation is what has led to the drain as far as our young people are concerned. We have to ensure that we're creating an environment that is stable socially, that enables them to take advantage of all the good work that NCDMB has done, is doing, and plans to do. And that when they acquire the knowledge, the environment does not make them leave the country for greener pastures. So for me, that's really critical. As an indigenous company, when we seek to employ local engineers, technical staff particularly, and now it's even come down to IT staff, human resources, it is a huge challenge. And so I agree with Ejiro that there has to be that joined up thinking, that joined up policy direction and drive when we are thinking local content. A lot of us who live in Lagos, I think all over the country, I should say, have been forced to upgrade our solar panel installation because of the price of diesel. The price of diesel is dictated by global economics. And I think it's really important that we remember that. Even where we want to domesticate and even where we believe that we should focus on what is best for the country, we have to understand that the social part of the ESG and the governance part is critical. Because if we don't get that right, we will do renewables in the same way we've done oil exploration and production. And we already are. There are metals and rare earth minerals that we are not focusing on and are being shipped out as we grapple around how we will do the bid rounds and who has the capacity to mine. Whether it's lithium or it's copper or it's silicon. And these are things that we really need to focus on from a point of view of self-preservation of our country. We see what is going on in the Niger Delta at the moment, and as oil and gas companies, everybody in this room knows the level of production that we are able to produce today because of instability, because of oil theft. And that is what I call self-sabotage. So if we want self-preservation to drive this conversation, then we need to look at self-preservation in terms of what is good for all and not just what is good for some, even within our nation. I personally do not believe that self-preservation, I think it's self-preservation that has got us to where we are today. It creates an unlevel playing field. That is what I believe, and that is what you spoke about, sir. Self-preservation between the West and the developing nations creates an unlevel playing field. Self-preservation, even locally, will always create an unlevel playing field. I think we need to sit around the table with the disenfranchised, especially in this conversation, and see how we can strengthen our society, how we can truly build capacity and grow capacity, because I think we've been building capacity quite well. I really want to applaud the work of the local content board. I think we've been building capacity, but we need to grow at a more exponential rate than we have been currently. And so those are some of the things that I just want to speak about. In the renewable space, we need to look at metals for green energy. We need to also look at, and I'm glad the ES mentioned solar, hydro. We need to look at wind. And we need to look at these things not just in terms of importing solar panels, but in terms of actually manufacturing them locally. We need to look at wind because it's a viable option, but we need to look at these things in terms of what can help us develop our nation, and not just the things like coal that eventually is going to go to the highest bidder. Thank you.